What's going on, guys? It's Yogi, and welcome back to Season 2 of the Lotus SMP. I know that in the last episode we kind of dropped off with a bit of a cliffhanger. I mentioned a large economic opportunity, and it really is large, emphasis on large, and I am here to tell you that it went well, I think. If we direct our attention over here to this here cliffside, you'll see that we've done something over here. This gray, lifeless island of garbage contains the largest, most insane farm I've ever had the displeasure of being a part in building. So I suppose I ought to bring you guys up to speed on what's happened between the end of the last episode and where we are now. Forehead. Okay, so before this giant rectangular hole covered in crying obsidian existed, this was just a big grassless barren island. And before that, this big, grassless, barren island was just a regular island that Chespi and I would come to periodically to get dirt. See, dirt is something that basically you use in every single mega build or anytime you need to terraform, so we usually end up needing lots of it. I also said in the last episode that I wanted to start selling dirt and mycelium and podzol. Is that everything? Dirt, mycelium, podzol? Grass. So I figured I needed a way to mass produce some dirt. Chespi is also someone who needs dirt because he has a mud shop. So we decided to join forces and build a massive dirt farm. You heard me right. A dirt farm. Now before we work on the dirt farm, we actually need to do some work on another farm that I built a few episodes back. That would be the brown mushroom farm. The brown mushroom farm had some real difficulties running fluidly, and I think that's because of the way I built it. It turns out that farms as complicated as that one are sensitive to the direction in which they face. I rotated that one from the original design, and I think that's the problem. So let's tear this thing down and make a new one. So I've torn down the mushroom farm. Now we just need to rebuild it facing the right way. Also, I wanted to show you guys, somebody built a gallows around the goat in the last episode. I don't know when, but I like it. Now for the new design for this farm, I basically just replaced a lot of the logs with white concrete and made it a little bit more accessible to the door when you first walk in. I feel like this design is so much more sleek and nice looking. I'm glad I did this. Let's go ahead and talk about this dirt farm. So this farm is absolutely massive, of course, because anything that's going to create dirt out of a machine is never going to be simple. We had like 10 shulker boxes of materials, 2 of which were redstone dust, which of course neither one of us had like even close to that much. So we spent like forever collecting redstone. Okay, so Chespi and I have now spent a cumulative, I think roughly 12, maybe a little bit more hours gathering materials for this build. It's going to be a lot. As you guys can see, this is just unbelievable. We've got all this and we're not even done yet. Now we need to dig a giant hole, and we also need 4 Ravagers.
I want to cry.
Now, of course, in order to get 4 Ravagers, you're going to need to have some raids. Conveniently, we had a village right next to where we wanted to build the farm, so after some time, Chespi and I were able to find some Ravagers to put in the farm. Once we had our materials, though, it was time to start digging a giant hole that we could put this farm into. Now, digging giant holes is my favorite because we get to use boom booms. Forehead. Are all of them connected? Did I wire them all up?
Well, only one way to find out.
Let her rip. Chespi and I spent the better part of an hour listening to a podcast and cleaning up the inside of this big rectangle to make it nice and clean and ready for our farm. So we're going to lower the whole machine into this. So in theory, the whole thing should be down here. We have to get all 4 Ravagers down here and also not destroy the entire build in the process.
Fun.
Now we have a schematic that we got to use to build the farm, so we built it from the bottom layer up to the top. Here's how that went. Once we got to this point, we were about halfway done with the actual farm. But this is where those Ravagers come into play. We have to get all 4 Ravagers crammed into a very small spot. Okay, so Chespi and I have built up to here, about halfway, which means our next step is to put 4 Ravagers right here.
All right, sending one. Oh, he's dying! He's dying!
Oh God.
Yogi, this is bad! Oh,
Wait, no, oh no, I went through it right, oh God. Yeah, so we had a ton of difficulty getting those Ravagers in. In fact, one of them died in the process.
dude.
He died? He died?
Died.
I just got his saddle and XP as I walked up to the portal. So.
He's going through. It worked.
Okay, he's through. He's through. He's not in the boat.
That's not what I want to hear. Yogi! Yogi!
I'm sorry, I didn't think about it. Woo! Later on that evening, we just kind of stopped and said we'd figure it out the next day. And I made it on before Chespi. I tried to get one through, and I killed it, so I decided to go and get more Ravagers so that when Chespi got online, that piece was over with, and we could just get them put in place. So today is the next in real life day, and Chespi's not on yet, so I figured I'd surprise him by picking up another Ravager since the first one died, which means I need to go over here and murder someone. Here, Pillager, Pillager, Pillager. I don't see anybody with the thing on his head. There it is. All right, I'm gonna kill a lot of creatures now. There they are. Come on, come on, come on. Nice. Whee! Where did he go? So after some time, we were able to get all 4 of the Ravagers into their respective holes, but now they're in place and we don't have to worry about them anymore. After this, we spent 2 more nights building this farm. And now the farm is fully built, and this thing is absolutely massive. In fact, if I go into free cam here, I'll give you one big tall shot of how tall this farm really is. This thing is absolutely huge. So now that you've seen the farm, let's break down how it works. For starters, we have the moss farm, where stone generators push stone to the center, where it's converted to moss, and then converted to bone meal through composters. The bone meal is then moved over here to where the trees grow. When we place saplings, it bone meals the trees as well as the soil beneath them, which converts the stone to moss, and then the trees convert the moss to podzol. The wood from the trees is moved over into this blast chamber and destroyed. The podzol and stone are moved over into this blast chamber and destroyed as well. They all collect in one place and we can store them here through a sorting system. So yeah, that's what we spent the better part of our week working on. Now that it's up and running though, we are in good condition and we can use it to make money in the future. That is everything that I had planned for this episode of the Lotus SMP, so thank you guys so much for being here and for watching the video. Of course, I'll go ahead and link the playlist right here so you guys can check that out if this is the first episode that you've seen. And of course, if it's not and you've been watching these for a while, please consider subscribing. And of course, please drop a like if you think it's worth it. I'll catch you guys in episode 6. Bye.